Okay. Who thinks they have a general formula for volume of pyramids and cones? Go ahead.
Base times height times height over 3.
General formula.
Base area times height.
Base area times my height is for prisms and cylinders, but it took 3 of the cones and pyramids to fill it, so divided by 3 is correct. Another way I would write it, which might be a little more helpful in some situations, is 1/3 the base area times the height. So we're not really learning a new formula. We just figured out how the volumes differ a little bit. So it's that 1/3 piece that's going to be different. B still stands for base area, so we're going to replace that B with our formulas for area. What are formulas that we've used? Which one is that for? Of a
Square.
circle. Area of a circle is pi r squared. What's another area formula we've used? Formula for area. Length times width is for what? Squares and rectangles. What other area formulas have we used? Area formulas. 1/2 times base times height, and what's that for? Triangle. Okay, so you should know these. These are all area formulas you've been using forever. We are introducing the volume formula. The only difference between today is that we now have a 1/3 attached out front. Okay, that B still stands for base area, and we're still going to replace it. The nice thing about pyramids and cones is how many bases do you see? How many bases are there for pyramids and cones versus our prisms and cylinders? One, right? There's a base. Where on our prism, there's 2. So we don't have to worry too much about what the base is, because the base is always on the bottom and the point is always up. So can you tell me what the shape of the base is for number 1? Triangle, right away, right? We automatically know it's a triangle. So we're going to replace that big B with area of a triangle. So what does our formula look like? If I replace the big B, I have 1/3, and I'm replacing it with what? Okay, I'm going to do 1/2 base times height, but base times height divided by 2. This is my base area times the height of the entire thing. So just like we did in the last unit, except here we have that 1/3. It's the only difference. Now, how do we determine which is the base and the height of a triangle? Good, it forms a 90-degree angle. So looking at that base, which 2 sides are the base and the height of the triangle? 3 and 4. Okay, 3 and 4. So if you look here, here's my triangle, and it legit makes a 90-degree angle. Okay, so that's my base and my height of my triangle. So volume equals 1/3 times 1/2. My base is 3, my height is 4, or vice versa, it's okay. And then this height is the height of the entire pyramid. What's the height of the entire pyramid? 5. How do we solve that? So we're going to multiply 3 times 4 times 5. And what do you think we're going to divide by? 3 and then 2, or just, which is 6. So 3 times 4 times 5 divided by 6.
Wait, so you multiply 2 and 3?
Yeah, because it's 1/3 times 1/2. So you can rewrite it as 1/6 times 3 times 4 times 5 if you want. So 3 times 4 times 5 in your calculator divided by 6 gives you a grand total of 10. So 10 feet cubed. Are we okay with that? Okay, I want you to try number 2, please. We have volume equals 1/3 is part of the formula. So any shape that comes to a point, pyramids and cones, they all come to a point. You have to have the 1/3 at the beginning. Okay, all shapes that come to a point have the 1/3 that come at the beginning. What's the shape of my base? Triangle, so I still have the 1/2 base times height times the height of the entire thing. What are the base and the height of the triangle? 8 and 6. So volume equals 1/3 times 1/2 times 8 times 6. And what's the height of the entire pyramid? 7. And when you use your calculator to do all the work for you, 56? 56 kilometers cubed. Awesome. Not too bad? Okay, so let's move on to a cone. General formula is 1/3 base area times height. What is the shape of the base? That is always the first question you should ask yourself. What is the shape of the base? A circle. So I'm replacing that big B with what? Pi r squared. So 1/3 pi r squared, because that's what my B is, times the height. Are you okay with that? Okay. What's my radius? 3. And the height of the entire cone? 10. Okay, we're going to have two answers, an exact and a rounded. So 3 squared times 10 divided by 3. 3 squared times 10 divided by 3. 30? Anyone want to confirm 30? 30? Okay. So 30 pi feet cubed for my exact answer. What do you get when you plug that into your calculator and you round it? Say it one more time.
94.2.
94.2? Still okay? Awesome. Let's do one more together and then you can do the last two and we'll check it. So we are back to a pyramid. What's the shape of this base? A square. So I replace the B with what? Length times width. Area of a square. Times the height of the whole thing. Volume equals 1/3. The length and the width are 9 and the height is 12. 9 times 9 times 12 divided by 3. 324. Someone confirm?
Yeah.
Okay. Meters cubed. So the only thing that changes between each problem is my base area formula. The 1/3 and the H are going to stay. Okay, so the only thing you change is base area. Take a couple minutes and do number 5 and 6, and then check with your group when you have an answer. 5. You should have volume equals 1/3 the length times the width times the height. Right? Volume equals 1/3 4 times 2 times 5. And what did you get when you plugged that into your calculator? 13.3 feet cubed. Good. Okay. Number 6. What's the shape of my base? A circle. So 1/3 pi r squared times the h. What is my radius? 1. This is a diameter. I know it's really hard to see, but it's the diameter. 1/3 pi times 1 squared times the height of the whole thing is 12. So 1 squared is 1 times 12 is 12 divided by 3. 4 pi feet cubed. And what'd you get when you plugged into your calculator? How do we feel about that? Okay. So here's a couple things that you need to be aware of as you're working through. One, you need to know the formulas, and there's really only two new ones. Prisms and cylinders, it's base area times height. Cones and pyramids, it's 1/3 the base area times the height. And just go back to this model if you're not sure, like if you don't remember which one's which. Okay, so know that the pointy ones fit inside the non-pointy. Okay, base area will always change. So depending on what the shape of your base is, and that should be the first question you ask yourself in every single one of these problems, that's going to change based on your base. It's a lot of B words. Okay, so the base area changes. What are our three bases? Circle, square, rectangle, triangle. You've known those formulas for 100 years. Okay. How old are y'all? 15?
Maybe.
So like 8 years at least?
When I was 7, I don't know.
Probably. Area? I don't know. Okay, those ones you know. The two new ones you have to remember. So all the pointy shapes, cones and pyramids, the ones that come to a point have the 1/3 in front. Okay? Do you notice that it's all formula based, and if you don't plug it into the formula right and you don't use your calculator right, you're never going to get the right answer? Okay? You're not physically doing the math. You're doing the thinking and then using your finger to use your calculator.
Wait, is that all? Is that all?
Kind of.
Is there still more steps?
Kind of.
I think it's